I'm gonna send your chat a link.
Okay.
Nice. What's up? I am who I am. Evo7. Shout out to those of y'all who have just joined us. Welcome to our impromptu unannounced talk. I wanted to give y'all a surprise.
Yeah.
I got Astro Fenixx in the building.
We're here. We're lit. As usual.
Setting the vibes, I see.
Yep. I can't use a comb in my hair anymore. I don't have any hair. It's all gone.
I didn't cut my beard off. I decided to just go baby face.
Oh, really? I did the same thing because I shaved my head like a little more than a month ago, but I kept my facial hair because I didn't have anything. And then the other day I just decided to shave it all off. So yeah. I'm actually digging the no hair look.
I miss being bald. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm digging it.
Yeah, I think I might embrace that too. We'll see. I've never grown my hair out, so I'm trying that out. But
yeah, I've always had long hair though, so for me this is different. I haven't had short hair since I was like a little kid.
Always had long hair? I didn't know that.
Pretty much. I mean, I had a routine where I pretty much would cut my hair short once a year. But then progressively, as I got into my later 20s, I was cutting it more frequently. And then I had been thinking about going bald for a while. And then I just decided to like, you know what, let's just go ahead and do it. Probably has something to do with the Saturn return that I'm going through. So I was like, I don't know, just decided to cut it all off and just go clean. So I actually need to shave it. It's growing a little bit. It's funny. Now when I say I have a lot of hair, it's just like these little prickly things on my head. So, but
does it take a long time for your hair to grow in?
No.
Oh, okay, it goes in pretty
No, but I have a couple of spots in my head that aren't growing as fast. That's why I decided to cut it.
Oh, god.
It wasn't even. Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, yeah, where I like that you said you have Saturn and Aqua. For those who've just joined, we're gonna break down just some cool reflections about Saturn and Aqua and what it means for your sign. We're gonna throw down some cards for it, and also kind of just give the 12 paths of this new transit. And thankfully, Astro Fenixx actually has his Saturn in Aquarius, so this is it's really cool coming around for the first return. Jupiter and Pluto are on my Saturn right now, so I'm like wrapping that up, coming of age during a pandemic and apocalypse. So no one really
right
about this. I guess this is what we signed up for.
I guess it is. Yeah, they say Saturn's the planet of karma, so it's like those of us who have incarnated during this time, we're witnessing something that is unprecedented. It's not like humanity hasn't gone through pandemics before, right. But what's different is the level of connectivity in the world, or at least external connectivity. I'll say external because internal, we still have to work on the true internet, which comes from within. But as far as external connectivity, the internet and technology, and to have something like this happening during this time, that's what makes it unprecedented. So I know a lot of Saturn and Cap people, who just got their Saturn. How was your Saturn return though? Like for, leading up to all of this, I feel like we're kind of just like leading up to like this big, it's almost I'm kind of seeing a geyser that is being like just bursting out of the ground like Yellowstone. But how was this for you? Like this whole Saturn return, like leading up to Saturn and Aqua?
It felt like an incredible death. because it's like
Yeah.
to my 8th, 9th house. So like
Whew.
it was just a lot of purging and a deep realization about power systems, power scaling, what power means, all sorts of shit, to be honest. It's been like teaching me to see myself as greater than I thought I could be. But it's
Isn't it also on your moon? Like Saturn and Jupiter, aren't they on, or Pluto and Jupiter, aren't they on your moon right now too?
yeah, it's a massive awakening I'm
Damn.
going through. I'm realizing I'm not who I thought I was.
Yeah.
I've been like a clone of my true self my whole time, and it's like, okay, this is who you truly are. So it's like it's interesting. It's interesting, but it's like it's just like you said. It's leading up to a guys. It's collective, so it's a part of like everyone's awakening too, and it just feels like. Shout out to Jiwan. We had an amazing conversation yesterday, but it just feels more like I'm getting ready to start my life for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because, it's like you hear people say that, 30s are the new 20s, 40s are the new 30s. But I guess coming into this pre-Saturn return, I can kind of see why people would say that because, you use your 20s to experiment, but now it seems like that age is kind of getting pushed back more and more. And it's like you don't really come. I do feel like adulthood starts with your Saturn return, but I personally don't believe there are any adults in the world. Maybe after your second Saturn return, you become an adult.
Yeah.
But I personally don't really believe that there are any adults in the world. So I think we're all just we're flying by the seat of our pants.
No,
but
I agree. Adulthood is very much so an invention.
It's an invention.
Yeah. And Erykah Badu herself said that growing up is a trap. So I heed that advice.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a trap.
Yeah.
So like the day that Saturn went into Aquarius, like did you feel that shift?
Oh yeah. It was interesting too because it coincided with like a different way for me working as far as like changes to my career. Aqua is my 10th house, so it was a very somber, and my north node's like 8 degrees Aqua, so it was very somber. It was like a shift, like okay, it's time to do this mission. And that was really when everything started kicking off, and like so far it's just a deeper realization of like this is what we've been prepared for. And how do I say it? More it's like something just completed, so now it's time to know what the completion is. But it's ironic too because like I've been a hermit this whole time, and I think I'm going out a little more than I used to. Not even to socialize either, but just
well, that's the kind of the funny thing about it, because like now everyone's forced to be a hermit, and those of us who are used to doing this are sort of like, no, they're gonna find out all of our secrets. They're gonna really know what's up. But I think this is a good energy because, I mean, I consider myself a bit of an introvert, but I still have no problem with going out and socializing with people. But I generally do consider myself a bit of a hermit. I mean, Virgo is my 10th house, so I feel like I'm supposed to be a hermit anyways. But I've told several people this, but I do feel like this whole situation where people are having to stay at home and not many people are working, I think this is actually something that should be integrated into our economic structure anyways, because our economy, the societal structure, is based off of go, 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 go. But the universe, nature isn't built on that. There's an ebb and flow. Trees don't just grow leaves perpetually. They have to fall and then replenish. But we have created a society that is so unnatural that now we're all forced to stay at home. I think that the end of Aquarius and Pisces season is the perfect time for society to slow down anyways. But now it's like kind of being forced on us. And since society isn't built for that, now you're seeing this knee-jerk reaction to what's going on. So,
and the last time it was there was 91, I believe.
Yeah.
So if you think of the internet then versus the internet now, it's like this is the first period of time where we have documented, archived, researchable information that we like. Humanity has the answers to everything if we just look at the last 20 years of archived information.
Right.
Saturn has returned, right? So it's like, you know, um freaking, if people were able to take astrological principles seriously, we would have been able to, now we can, but like we have been able to document these cycles. It's interesting, CEOs are quitting their positions, and everything is kind of shifted, and on the surface that looks weird until you realize, wait a minute, that's normal as hell, because Saturn was 29 degrees. It's like ending, right? Things are kind of shifting, and
no, that makes total sense. Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
And if they were taking it seriously as like meteorologists do weather, right? People don't think meteorologists are psychics. It's a science, right? Just like people were saying Uranus and Taurus is going to mess up with the economy. This is something that realistically could have been taken serious. People could have been taking money out of the markets. We could have prepared for this. Now we have data that shows that this is something that has predictability. So I think, you know, Saturn Aqua moving forward is building that too.
Yeah, but the other thing is that Saturn and Aqua is going to be very unpredictable just based off of the nature of Aquarius. But
and the square to Uranus.
And the square to Uranus and Taurus.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's definitely, this is going to be a very weird time. Like people, if we haven't seen anything yet. We really haven't. And
man, that's facts.
You know that you said the internet, that it was released to the public in 91, right? I believe the internet was around before then.
Yeah, no, it was around before then, but I was just saying like the internet in 91 is so different than
it's so different. Yeah. So it's like, if you think about it, now Saturn's back in that spot, and now it's almost like, it's like we've taken our first baby steps, actually. We're almost sort of like the last 28 or so years has been us learning how to crawl. And now that we've kind of had the internet and this communication and this information, this dialogue, we're finally learning how to kind of like hold ourselves up with like a table.
Yep.
And I speak in metaphors all the time. So that's, I mean, but that's pretty much what's going on right now. So it's like the internet is still very much so in its infancy. That's why it's so crazy to look at it, because you'll see all different kinds of things. We are inundated with information, and Aquarius is all about information. Saturn's going to help us to actually organize a lot of information. It's going to help us to put structure to this information. Right now, it's still a bit all over the damn place, you know, and it partly also has to do with the fact that we still have Neptune and Pisces is going to be here for a while. So everyone is really attaching their beliefs to information. And sometimes the two coincide, but a lot of times they don't. Sometimes our beliefs will actually kind of steer us in a different direction when we have the truth and the facts in front of us. Or we'll look for truths and facts that support our beliefs. Something that my dad has told me, and something I've incorporated, is that no matter really what you believe in, if you're a real truth seeker, you have to be prepared to put every one of your beliefs on the chopping block, because that's the only way that you're going to evolve, you know? So sometimes beliefs serve us for a season, sometimes for a couple of seasons. But if we're real truth seekers and we're really about evolution, we'll take the next step when we need to. But sometimes it's hard to. And I struggle with this as far as like, you know, trying to like.
Your beliefs can kill you now.
Yeah.
You got to really live. Like, there are people who will not take vaccinations because they don't believe in that. There are people who will take vaccinations. So it's like all the stuff you've been building up for. It's like, what do you really live for? And I think, and this is where I honor you so deeply, bro, because it's your generation that's sponsoring this for the rest of the collective. But superpowers are officially manifesting. This is the greatest awakening of all time, because all of humanity is literally collectively awakening superpowers. And you know, the mechanics of that is all possible because of the Aquarians representing the Saturn and Aquas. It's especially used as Scorpio sun in the 12th house. So, you know, the building process of this was Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn, and Uranus in Gemini is gonna be like the electricity that allows us to, like, you know, mainstream this, I guess. So we're still manifesting in Taurus, but like we're here. Like Mars is on Saturn. So like, what do you have you felt your intuition or like aspects of your power? You've gone from understanding to now understood. Like you're ready to like. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I have been just kind of been in this like incubation period where it's like the moment where I think I'm about to kind of come out of my shell or come out of this egg, I feel like there's like another layer of this incubation. So it's like, and I guess a part of me, there's been a little bit of impatience to when it's actually going to flourish and blossom. But now lately, I've just been kind of, like I said, like I told you earlier, I've been just kind of going with the process. It's been more of like it's been a lot of clearing. My dreams have been off the charts lately, and they usually are anyways, but it's so much more cinematic than it was before.
Interesting.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Neptune and Pisces.
It's got to be Neptune and Pisces.
And Mercury's on it too, so maybe it transiting your moon. There we go. Boom.
Yeah, it'll be hitting my moon. Well, I mean, my moon's at 28 degrees of Pisces, so I'm a very old soul. Yeah, so that's the other thing. I'm a very old soul, and it's like I've lived through so many different experiences, and I came to the realization the other day that this life, I'm going to do quote unquote big things, but I want to almost like achieve like this level of peace in this life where I feel like maybe I'm here to set the groundwork for a lot of people coming up behind me. Just putting the information out there, probably more through novels and creative works, maybe music or kids' TV shows and stuff like that, where I would talk about different things and I'll integrate topics of astrology and tarot into my writings and all that sort of stuff, so that these other generations that come up, they'll be kind of influenced by it, by, you know, what influenced me growing up, like Harry Potter and stuff like that, but kind of take it to another level of understanding. But since my soul has been here so many times, I've done a lot of the, you know, I've made the billions of dollars before. I've been to jail and prison in past lives. I've done a lot of stuff here. So it's like my soul's ready to like.
What's your life path number?
What is it? 3? Yeah.
Nice. Okay. That's what's
up. Yeah. So it's like, I've been here for quite a bit, and I've even gotten the intuition that this is either my last lifetime on Earth or my second to last lifetime. But I don't know really which one it is. Right now, I'm kind of just going with the flow of it. But I would say this whole experience for me, you know, being a Scorpio sun, 12th house, of course I have Pluto and Mars there as well, is that the subconscious transformation of this time is so powerful and so surreal. It's kind of hard to keep up with it. So it's like trying to make sense of it, especially with Neptune and Pisces and Mercury there. There's no way we can try and logic our way through this time. There's no way we can. So we have to, this comes down to trusting our intuition and just kind of rolling with the punches, kind of rolling with what's going on. You know, I think this whole outbreak, whether you believe in the virus or not and stuff, all the conspiracies behind it, it's impacting everybody in some capacity.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, that can't be denied, whether it's real or not, whether the numbers are real, blah, blah, blah. I've seen so many different things. There's so much information out there, right? But this is the year 2020. So this is about developing 2020 vision. But the only way we're going to develop 2020 vision is if we kind of turn it back on ourselves. They say hindsight's 2020. I feel like this is the year of developing hindsight. So this is after the end of this year, we'll be able to look back, you know, on this year, next year, and then all the years before that, we'll be able to actually almost have like perfect vision to see, oh, this is why these things happened.
Oh, that's facts.
Yeah.
That's
so,
facts.
But in order to really have that foresight, we need to be able to look within us. So it's not necessarily about the external. It's definitely going to be more about the internal. That's why everyone's at home right now.
Yeah.
because let's be real. People don't know their families. People don't know who their spouses are. People don't know who their kids are. People have they don't even know the energy of their space that they live in because they don't spend that much time at home. They definitely don't know who they are themselves. So now that everyone's at home, they're forced to be around their family. They're forced to be with themselves.
It's like a reset button.
It's a massive reset button.
Yeah.
And it's something we all have subconsciously been like begging for.
And everyone's predicted this. I mean,
Yes.
even people who don't believe in this has at some point felt or predict. And so that's what makes it more collective too. Like we really are a part of this. And so well said, bro. Like it's truly a new era. I see the next 3 years as a rainbow bridge into 2023, like the beginning of the end, but like the new world, if anything. So that's it's also interesting to kind of go through a period where there's a lot of deaths happening.
Yeah.
And that could be a lot to deal with. Brace yourself for more impact. This is really first of all, my life path number is 9, and Aquarian Essence was very right. Telepathy is now preparing to be sponsored for everyone, where it's going to be a part of it's nothing that hasn't already been a part of humanity, but it's going to be more mainstreamed, maybe with technology that supports it, or maybe just like telecommunication that expands to the next level. But it's still amazing having us come of age at this time, because once again, especially if you are born in this live stream, you're so unique, y'all, that the hardest, most difficult part about this process is that you're pioneering an aspect of yourself that is quintessentially you. So no one else can show you how to manifest and come into understanding. I mean, you will, because you'll reflect it through other people, but I think the people going within, it's like forcing you to come up with your own new way of
Yeah.
changing the game. Saturn is in Uranus ruled Aquarius, squaring Uranus in Taurus, that is having you embark on a whole nother legend. So what do you feel about the potential of Saturn square Uranus? Because I thought this was the first year of the decade. This is the last year of the decade. So it makes sense 2021 is the first
Yeah.
year of the next decade, because we're going to have Saturn and Jupiter come through and square the hell out of Uranus, which I'm prepared for the worst, to be honest. I see it as like the best thing that ever happened to us, but kind of like a tower best thing that ever happened to us. Like,
This is definitely a tower moment. I was drawing it was weird. I was drawing parallels of what's happening right now to 9/11 like a month ago. And then literally within the last week in like mainstream like news sources and other people, I've seen people comparing this what we're going to 9/11.
higher death toll than 9/11 too.
Yeah, the death toll is higher than 9/11, and it's like it's just the parallels, because I actually made a video like maybe a month and a half ago where I said that before 9/11, humanity was on this trajectory of a deeper sense of worldly compassion, but we needed an event that would, or the elites, whatever like that, would have. It was kind of a conspiracy, but there needed to be some sort of event that would separate us, and that was 9/11. 9/11 was this moment that actually disconnected us, and it caused this major split in our trust. We were building that trust back up. And then and now this has happened, and it's kind of messing it up again. But I think
Colby just said this is the end of the 9/11 cycle.
It's the end of the 9/11 cycle. And of course, look where the North Node is too, though. So
2001. Yeah. Did you hear about how Tangled? You heard about the movie Tangled, right?
Yes, I love that movie. I gotta actually go back and watch it now.
So Pluto was conjunct to the North Node in Capricorn at 3 degrees when that came out.
Wow.
And now the North Node is directly opposite. Someone quarantined in the kingdom of Corona 10 years later. Yeah. So that's just, there's so much that's ready to get opened up, because unlike last cycle, Neptune was not in Pisces, which
Exactly.
is a literal portal to other, like at some point we're going to have to acknowledge the existence of other realms of existence, parallel
Hmm.
dimensions, multiverses, mythological beings, the
You
whole.
really have to. Guys, you need to start watching these animes and these cartoons. 'Cause I swear they drop the most truths. Because like the week, I started
cartoons and
watching it.
cartoons and anime represent like the fire water axis, like some
They
things
do. They
need to be
really do.
expressed through symbols and
Yeah.
tales, you know what I'm saying? So it's amazing.
I was watching this anime that was talking about angels, fallen angels, and devils, and how there was like a big war between them. And then there was like a ceasefire. And now, at this moment in the anime, they actually are working together. So you have angels, fallen angels, and devils. I want to take it a step further and say that there are risen devils, just like there are fallen angels. But
Yeah.
that's something I'm just kind of ruminating on.
There are.
Yeah.
That's a controversial taboo concept,
Oh,
but
risen devils.
yeah,
Yeah.
and risen devils and resurrected vampires is the whole theme for Pluto Aqua.
Oh, yeah.
So that's there. I'm so glad you mentioned that too. But like these things are so abstract to most of humanity that it's about to become beyond mainstream. It's about to be something that reveals has always been here, because now Neptune is in Pisces
Mhm.
to allow us greater receptivity to, the fact that everything you imagine, everything that you think doesn't go away. It exists.
Yeah, it doesn't just go away. That's the
Right.
thing. There's a whole nother realm. And if enough people feed energy to that realm, which we do that, these things
Right.
manifest in other realms. We
So
are
it's not
very
real,
powerful
but
beings.
it exists
It exists.
and it
We
can
are
still
very
impact you.
powerful beings. If you have 1,000 people thinking about the same thing, that vibration becomes stronger. That's why, like, when you see like these mass meditations, you have like 3,333 monks meditating for world peace. That's powerful because yes, one person is powerful, but if everyone's focusing their intent on the same thing, it becomes that more resonant. It's like a tuning fork. So if we all have these different imaginations and then we put it on TV shows and books and movies,
Yeah.
those things exist, you know.
And
So
let's not and I love that you're talking about that, because your moon in Pisces, you know all that. You know all about that. 12th house sun, like you live this. So like the whole, this is the beautiful thing about reality. The real life manifestations of these themes are in your face. When we talk about vampires resurrecting, adrenochrome has been hot on the market for
for
years. Like
years,
there's
yes,
energetic
yeah,
vampires. There are people who feed on blood. Maybe they don't like run 80 miles an hour like in the movies, but they do get some kind of benefits. Like it's a rare genetic biology, physiology. The existence of these creatures are going to be made known because they could hide before, where there was no social media.
right.
Now everything's quantified. They're going to be
Hmm.
revealing stuff. So that's also, and I don't say this at all to like make anyone afraid, because you're coming into more empowerment than
Yeah,
ever. If anything, it's gonna be like kind of fun. But
it's gonna
let's
be fun because I mean there are good vampires and bad vampires.
right,
I've said
right.
that vampires are ruled by the Libra vibration, so that's
Interesting. That's the
well because
same.
that's where
It
the
rules the
sun is
fallen angel
flowing.
one too.
I feel like that's where it would resonate. I saw someone else
I
in
kind
the
of felt
chat,
Aquarius too.
Aquarius.
Well,
I
Aquarius would
said,
be like the noble vampires
yeah,
that don't really feed on human blood, but I can see how Libra could be like fallen angel vampire esque. Like
that's the way I've seen it as. I saw them as vampires. I saw Aquarius as almost as like I said cyborgs, but it's almost sort of like it's an angel, but it's like there's this sort of a hive mind that the Aquarians are kind of all tapped into,
that's true.
but they still maintain their individuality.
Yeah.
That's why it's weird with Aquarius. Like they will act like they're a part of a group, but then it's like they have this individuality about them. Um, that's why like you can't, it's really hard to one up an Aquarius in an intellectual conversation. There's only a few signs that can do it, and it's mainly because Aquarius lets them do it.
That part too. Aquarius is literally a shard. Every Aquarius representative is a shard of um omniscience. So
Mm-hmm.
like they're an enigma because like every Aquarius is every single being in one being, and then still
Yes.
unique, like you said. So that's kind of it's universal. I think it's hard. You can't truly see a Scorpio, a Sag, an Aquarius, or a Pisces, or a Cap if your third eye isn't open, because y'all represent like fifth dimensional, seventh dimensional beings, and so your existence in 3D is controversial. So it's kind of I love how I'm saying this. You already know this. You're like, oh yeah,
Dude,
literally.
I've had just weird kinds of thoughts about that whole thing. I had this weird thought that I channeled a while ago, and the only way that this could be possibly proven to me is after I die. So
Right,
this
right.
whole thing where it's like, so with Scorpios, what if the whole thing with Sun and Scorpio is that when you come into this life, I could be revealing a huge secret, or I can just be talking out my ass. But what if the whole thing with Sun and Scorpio is that when you come into this life, you die once, but you have no idea that you died, and you live out the rest of your life as if you had no idea. And then when you die again, you realize that there was this moment in your life where you actually died, but then you lived out the rest of this life in this whole other shadow realm or whatever like that. But maybe it's that realm that you use to manifest, and then you come into that Sagittarius energy. This was something I channeled back when I was in Colorado, and I smoked like
Wow.
almost every day. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's,
No,
but
there's truth to it because
yeah,
I feel like once you die, you release your moon sign. Like something happened. Like so it's about when and how you die, really. But
yeah,
then I also feel like if you're Scorpio and beyond, you only came here to die. Like this human experience is just like a waiting period until you die, and then your real life starts after that, like in the afterlife or something. But you really only know until you die, right? I mean, you can have dreams, which okay, well, this is another thing, which is why if your sun or if your moon is like past Libra, you're now getting like Saturn and Aquarius is getting ready to
mm-hmm.
upload like a deeper. Y'all are beta testing this year God consciousness and like a more real aspect instead of within, like now socially. So that's really cool. Everyone before then, we're like redefining the basics so we can like
Mm-hmm.
reprogram a new reality. But um craziness is going to be redefined. But I mean, we could talk about this for hours,
We
which is
really could though. We
yeah.
really could.
I'd
It's
like to get into the signs though, for
yeah,
sure.
we should
And
do
let's actually start with
that.
Pisces and go reverse too.
Okay.
So we can just we'll say a reflection and we'll pull a card too.
Okay.
Um but yeah, yo, I mean, Saturn in Aquarius is definitely in a position to, I see it as like Saturn Aquarius is really just preparing humanity for like the craziness that is to come. It's like putting online the higher mind of the collective, and then putting into fruition the completion. The reason why I say that is because the entirety of Saturn Aquarius is going to sponsor the end of Pluto and Capricorn. So by the
Mm-hmm.
time Saturn is entering Pisces, Pluto's out of Cap, and it's like for sure in Aqua and the retrograde back, and the way it transits too. I had chills. I wasn't scared, but I was like, the way the moon transits and finishes the cycle in Aries right before Pluto goes in. It's like, okay, you started a new cycle, beginning of the end. It's like the planets are dancing and weaving so perfectly. It's quite fascinating. So Pisces, Saturn and Aquarius for you is preparing you for complete transcendence. Pisces, you have spent your entire life being mainly misunderstood, which is
Mm-hmm.
very, very, very important, because a lot of your existence is about understanding God, and it's also about being misunderstood whenever you try and explain it because of the principle of, I guess, mystery or secrecy. But all this is changing now because Saturn tearing the hell up out of your 12th house is going to really confront like all the facets of you ever being misunderstood, to prepare for Pluto to come here and completely awaken, you know, your ability to integrate your supernatural potential directly into your lifestyle. So Saturn here is releasing old karmic obligations. You might find that you can't get into work because you're whatever you thought you're supposed to be doing, you're not really meant to be doing. This is a really frustrating transit because you know what you know is a lot more than what you can do now. It's like, you know, you're not supposed to work this job, but you don't really have any other choice. And it's Saturn getting ready to put you to the ultimate transcendent test so that you use nothing but your supernatural ability to get through. I just feel like it's weird to say that to Pisces because that's all y'all do anyway. Like
Right.
you guys just manifest with high magic anyway, but it's like the concept, the karma and the consequence of people not taking you serious or misunderstanding you actually hurts now. So it's like, how are you going to really release elements? And because 12th house is hidden enemies too. So it's like, it could feel like the whole collective is gang stalking you during this period. And it's realizing that you're gaining a greater belief and faith in those who love you, but addressing that nebulous influence. But we also have, yep, the devil, Saturn, Satan.
Well,
It's
there
like
you go.
it's like this is about to get really deep for some of y'all. This could be a very sinister feeling where it's like, you know, you can't really connect with most people because they're agent smithing your ass. And it's like, damn, I really gotta stop being the Buddha peace Pisces and turn into the warrior Pisces and let these motherfuckers know, like, Saturn's about to come over my first, and you can get it. So it's like you're, yeah. I wish I could say this better. This is deep for you.
No, it's tough to.
12th house.
It's
Like,
12th house energy. You know, I have this energy and I can only do so much to describe it. Pisces, you know that it's really ineffable. There's no word that we can use to describe the totality of what's going on here. And even the word God, spirit, these words don't even do it justice because these are words
right,
that we have come up with as
right.
humans. So Pisces, this whole Saturn in your 12th house, this is a lot of these restrictions that you've had are really going to just melt away. It's almost going to be like you're like a rat in the maze. You're the rat too, but you're like a rat in the maze, and you swear that you know where you're going, and no one really believes you. No one really believes you, but you swear you know where you're going.
Right.
And what's happening with this is that Saturn in Pisces is actually going to, like, all the walls are going to evaporate. They're going to evaporate, and that cheese wheel is going to be like literally right around the corner, like from where you are. Like you can smell, you're so close. It's going to be literally right around the corner, and you're going to be like, oh shit. And everyone's going to realize that you were correct. I think another thing that's happening is that we're shifting from this age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. So it's like there's a lot of other aspects of the Christ consciousness and what Christ was trying to implement in this world that Pisces is now here to implement as well. So like that whole energy is not done, and it still needs to be brought into its fruition. So that's another reason why Pisces is kind of feeling crazy right now, because there's a lot of this energy that still needs to be dealt with. I got the Queen of Coins, and I got Rejuvenating Rain as an oracle card. It talks about clearing the past and healing the present. And then the Queen of Coins or the Queen of Pentacles. This gives me a very much so Gaia Uranian vibes. So I would say look to Taurus in your chart to see how this is like aspecting you, considering the fact that Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. That's where Saturn happens to be. There's a shifting in your values right now. But what's most important right now is clearing that karma, clearing the past, and healing right now so you can really move forward. Because Pisces, you're a visionary. It's just that most humans, I'm going to put it bluntly, are too stupid. They don't have the right synapses that are activated in their mind and to actually understand what you're trying to convey. And it's not really so much that they're stupid. They literally just don't have the information that you have. But
Or they're
Saturn
blinded
and
by ego.
yeah, but Saturn in Aquarius, it's actually going to give people that information that you already know. This is your 12th house, right? You already know this, like subconsciously. So now you're going to notice that people are finally going to start to kind of get where you've been coming from this whole time. So.
And to add to that, Pisces, this is the most serious word I can give you. Your mission is, because each sign has a mission. Saturn is your karmic mission, right? Pisces risings especially. Your mission is to go to war against mental illness, and more so the practice of using mental illness as a shield to get away with things, which is the main culprit. So Pisces are going to be able to see that people are feigning mental illness, or people are using mental illness as a crutch or an excuse. And it's that sinister aspect of it that's in your 12th house, where you are offering unconditional love and support to people who are really just taking advantage of you. So that's something to keep in mind too. And also people with mental illness, y'all are going to be like completely reorganizing the rhetoric on that. So Aquarius, unfortunately we do have like a little less than 20 minutes. I hate to cut this short. But
is there a time limit on Zoom?
There's not a time limit, but I do have to be out of here.
I gotcha.
Gonna shoot something. But Aquarius, Saturn is in your zodiac sign, so your word is law. This is preparing you for an awakening, and once again, Jupiter is gonna go over your sign. You guys are getting hooked the fuck up. I'm just gonna be honest. You have Mars and Saturn, and then you're gonna have Jupiter and Saturn. Aquarius is coming back. This is a return like never before. Your word is law, and Aquarius, your karmic mission is to literally enforce your values and judgments to create a bridge. Like you are manifesting knowledge, and you are bringing into full manifestation the full essence of who you are by contributing whatever it is you want to create. And it's like every Aquarius is going to contribute to the collective facets of their own genius that's going to push humanity all the way forward. You are our bridge, Aquarius. Your word is law, and you have to live with the utmost of integrity, because it's your essence, whether you're moon, rising, sun, or whatever, that's going to literally bring into fruition this Aquarius's cosmic energy. It's going to manifest this higher cosmic order through you guys, so that we can, step into the age of Aquarius. Aquarius, your new age is here, and you have the burden of the whole universe to kind of, and you Saturn and Aquas too. You're sharing the burden of the whole universe to kind of really connect humanity and be this water bearer. I don't want to take up too much time, but I like to think it's a story I want to share later. The famous 5 and the secret 7. The famous 5 are Gemini, Aries, Leo, Libra, and Sagittarius. Well, Aquarius could have been a part of the famous 5. Aquarius would have been the most famous out of the famous 5. But Aquarius realized that the secret 7, right, the water signs and the earth signs, needed one unifying factor. Aquarius is a part of the secret 7 because it connects the earth and air, and they would have been on their own if it wasn't for, and this is just like a allegory parable, but Aquarius kind of sacrificed that celebrity status, even though they are celebrity status, which is ironic, to be a part of like the secret 7 behind the scenes. And this is switching, Aquarius. It's like you're getting ready to turn the key around on how we address issues. If I think about notable Aquarians, Oprah, Ellen, these are people that impact massive amounts of people. J. Cole, like they're given the key right now to finally do what they've been planning secretly, like evil geniuses. So that's going to be really amazing. And the card that I have for y'all is the High Priestess. Look at that.
Nice.
Sacred revelation, the light and dark. This is very peculiar because it's definitely talking about um you would think this would be a more masculine, like we do got the King of Swords, so it's you redefining your expert status, but the High Priestess is guiding you along a magical adventure through this, because what Aquarius is going to be redefining is the science of spirituality, and not something as a religion, but something that could be scientifically quantified.
I love that. I love how you were talking about the famous five and the secret seven, because I got the full card, but I also got the card of silence. So I think that goes very much so hand in hand with what you're talking about. And Aquarius, y'all have been put through the ringer lately. I would say you and Pisces especially have been put through so much lately. Of course, you know, the nodes, the South Node was there recently, you know, before I was in Capricorn. And Aquarius has been just waiting and waiting and waiting to just finally be able to, you know, almost heave like this sigh of relief. And now you actually are getting this. And I like how you said, like, you know, your word is law. Mars is here too, guys. So really, it's like your actions are going to speak a lot louder right now. And Jupiter is going to hook you up when it comes here too. It's going to expand upon all this. You're going to be able to take really big and bold action that's going to shift the collective in such a powerful direction. And then, of course, with Saturn here, which Saturn likes to be in Aquarius, and everyone likes to think that Saturn is like, you know, rigid, cold, doesn't like to party.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Why do you think Saturn likes to be in Aquarius too? Don't get it twisted now. So this is a time for you to, you know, be the fool and go out and be authentically yourself, but also remember the peace that comes from being in silence, being in your power, being in your truth and your energy. And, you know, yes, you are a bit of a celebrity. You are opposite Leo, so you're two sides of the same coin. So it's like Aquarius might look at Leo as like, I can't believe Leo's up on stage acting a fool. But Aquarius, you're doing the same thing behind the scenes. It's just that no one can really see it. Pisces can see it. Capricorn, Sag, and Scorpio see it, but no one else can see it. So, but it's kind of like almost like a Wizard of Oz kind of energy, except you don't really want to be deceptive with this energy. You want to guide people and not just deceive people. So I think that's kind of, you know, be wary of that as well, Aquarius, that you don't want to put off this illusion and, you know, this grand illusion that looks all great and stuff, but you want to be a guide for people. So that's the whole thing about the water bearer. You know, it's a guidance kind of energy. It's a nurturing kind of energy. So that's what I got.
Nice. So Capricorn, this is pretty simple. Saturn and Capricorn defined your greatness. It defined your brand, your legitimacy, and now Saturn and Aqua, your mission is literally to manifest that, manifest the connections that will not die, and really step into fully creating and setting your success. So it's like Saturn and Cap, you built the business, Saturn and Aqua, now you're manifesting extended wealth from that business. And it's going to, with Uranus in your fifth, open up room for like the upper, like the next level of money making and production. This is all about really producing greater knowledge with taking the completion of yourself and pretty much just connect, you know, creating more valuable networks and contacts. We do have the Three of Swords, so this is definitely bridging important sacrifices and ends that you realize now that you've completed yourself, you don't have to be with any other influences that don't acknowledge that completion or take away from that completion. So I just see it as you making a lot of snips. I feel like any betrayal won't be betrayal to you, Capricorn, because you already seen it coming or you knew it was an element here. Yeah, we got the Eight of Cups. So it's like, you know, Jupiter went through you, Pluto went through you. Sorry, you sound making you sound like a slut. I hate to say it. But like all these planets went through you, and it's like after this massive awakening, it's like, oh, I had everything wrong. I was thinking about all this wrong. Like, hell no, I don't need to be in this area. I don't need to be in this place. I deserve way better. And you're going to now, cut your losses and take that journey. It seems negative, but it's going to be so empowering for you. Because you're gonna go and get what you really want and need.
I think it's very powerful. My oracle card I got is Wandering Path,
Wow.
which speaks to enjoying the journey. But I also got the Four of Pentacles. So this card, it can denote someone who's kind of sitting on their laurels for too long and allowing it to deteriorate. But it also is an individual that knows their value and their worth. In the exalted form of this card is someone who knows their worth and their value, and they don't allow too many things to come in and try and go like to work through that. So it's about snipping away the weeds in the garden. So kind of like how the piece dealer just said, you are going through a period of time where it's like with Saturn now in your second house, you know really what you truly value. And now with Aquarius, you're going to start to manifest those people. So this is going to be a time. And then of course, when Jupiter comes here, this is going to be an opportunity for you to travel with these individuals, whether you actually go to other places or you just travel in like that spiritual journey. This Four of Pentacles in the Wandering Path, it's like, it's interesting. It's a card of like kind of defining things, but also kind of enjoying your life and going for it. So I feel like Capricorns, they've been, quite frankly, put through the ringer, like a lot of the later signs, Pluto, Saturn, South Node, Jupiter and Mars gave you a bit of like a lift. But I feel like now with Saturn and Aquarius, it's going to blow open so many opportunities for you to connect to the right individuals. And now that Saturn has gone through your sign, you have, and it's going to retrograde back, but you have the wherewithal to know who and what's going to fit into that garden. Because some people may try and give you certain philosophies that you try to plant in your garden, and the soil doesn't support it. But now that Saturn has gone through you, Jupiter and Mars, you're going to have a better and clearer picture on what you can plant in your garden. And it's going to be, I honestly get those no hard feelings with people that may not necessarily resonate and stuff like that. Even though you got the Three of Swords, I feel like it's like a kind of like a no hard feelings. It is what it is. Let's move forward, So I don't think it's bad or sad at all. I think it's like that was that part of the journey. This is this part of the journey. So
yeah. I feel like Cap is so like hard hardened now. It doesn't even hurt. Like, oh, look at this knife going through my heart, huh? Want to put another one? But yeah, so Sagittarius, that sounded so morbid. So Saturn has helped build wealth for you, and now it's opening up greater social influence. You are weaving a narrative to the collective. And so, especially for those of you who utilize social media platforms, you're being built a systematic and structured way to connect to the world and to communicate to the world, to show them your vision. But let's not even sugarcoat this. This is also over the next 2.5 years building vocifery. Vocifery is the supernatural ability to manifest based on words. So if it's like, I manifest $100, boom, it's here. It's nothing you haven't ever done. Every single Sagittarius has done this because Gemini is your seventh house. But this is now extending forth Aquarius's word as law, and having the way you communicate this with Neptune in your fourth literally manifest everything that you say and communicate. And this is going to force you, Sagittarius, to watch your words and to watch how you say what you say, because you can get angry and be like, I wish you weren't born. And so other than that, you know what I'm saying? The card we have for you is the Two of Pentacles, productivity, and juggling the ball. This is actually really interesting because I would expect this as a second house message, but it's pretty much saying to keep your eye on the money, keep your eye on the ball, and trust your instincts when it comes to investing in new income streams, because you're really gonna not only be multiplying your money, but I feel like that theme of infinity is here too, like unlimited manifestation.
It's funny how you mentioned the second house energy because I feel like I actually have it in my cards and how it kind of relates to Saturn being in Aquarius. I actually have the Ten of Wands. And then for the Oracle card, I have Gates of Triumph, which is a success expanding your life. I feel like what's happening with Sag is that they are kind of carrying this weight. And I think a lot of that has to do with all of this second house energy that they've been going through, especially, with the South Node here. There's a lot of karma that Sagittarius is having to process right now. Especially when it comes like their values and how they like actually physically manifest things. There's a lot of like all Sagittarius, what they have physically or what's in their physical life is so very, very karmic right now. So it can kind of feel like you're carrying a bit. But I think what's happening here is that Sagittarius, you are the sign of vision. You're the visionary. So Saturn in Aquarius is actually going to be helping you with the vision of like why you feel like you may be carrying this burden or why you feel like you may be bearing your cross. But the gates of triumph are here. So you actually are about to walk through this gate. And I feel like, of course, Saturn is going to be in Aquarius. The South Node will come into your sign and it's going to be on top of the galactic center point. So this vision that all Sagittarius have, especially related degree Sages, and then, of course, the Pluto and Sag generation, which they are the craziest generation I think I've seen, but they are at the same time remarkably brilliant. I can't really pin them down. It's so weird. But these kids, I swear, like they have such a galactic vision for the world, and it's kind of hard to really put it into words. And it can kind of feel a bit daunting, especially right now. I know Sagittarius are probably going crazy. Y'all rather be out and travel, and now you guys are stuck at home. So I feel like a lot of this energy is coming back, and you're kind of like, maybe you do feel like there's a bit of this burden to carry, but all these energies are shifting into your third house. So I think with Saturn and Aquarius, there's this visionary energy that's going to come through where you actually are going to be able to see manifesting. You're going to actually see how your words manifest because, Aquarius being your third house, that's about communication. Saturn was just in Capricorn. It will retrograde back here. That's where the South Node is. That's where a lot of this karma that you're carrying, you're going to actually be able to see how your words and how your thoughts manifest your reality, which is going to actually allow you to kind of recalibrate how you think and how you speak to other people so you can walk through those gates of triumph. So you can, put yourself into a better position to, feel that joy every day, that compassion, that love, and to feel that contagious. Sagittarius has like this contagious like happiness and joyfulness to them. That's why I say like a depressed Sag is probably like the saddest thing to see, probably next to a depressed Leo. But a Sagittarius that's depressed is like one of the saddest things to see. So it's like, like Sagittarius, you're kind of coming out of a bit of a depression right now. Like whether you actually are depressed or just like maybe spiritually, but Sagittarius just are kind of coming out of a bit of a depression because you're finally going to actually see. I feel like this transit, as far as the whole law of attraction, that whole idea, we're finally going to start to get what it means, and Sagittarius is going to be the main conduit that comes through.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And Sagittarius is depressed as hell. Like a Sagittarius could be happy, but they're collective. So like they're feeling the sadness of everyone else, and that's going to make them sad. And then they're going to escape to do more happy shit, but they're going to be even sadder. So you're right. You're totally right about that. Scorpio, y'all are gonna have one of the weirdest Saturn and Aqua ever because Saturn is constructing a deeper understanding of knowledge here that translates the wisdom you represent into an inner knowing that will not make sense to anybody else unless they are adept, because you have an awareness or y'all have a connection to a vibe that you either got it. That's what I feel about fixed signs. Like you either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like you either got that Scorpio sauce or you don't got the sauce. And if you don't have the sauce, there's certain things in this life that you just won't understand. And so, you know, Scorpio, you're bridging a deep understanding of knowledge that started 2016 when it was in your sign. Saturn put y'all on and
Oh man, that was
and,
fun.
right. Oh, and gave y'all a secret that wasn't really meant to be shared to the public because the public is not ready for y'all. So Saturn and Aqua is having to use your power and knowledge without getting confirmation and having you be your own authority. If Aquarius is their own law, you're like your own inner authority. Like you're going to be doing stuff that you know works, and you're not really going to have any main proof other than it working until Saturn is in Pisces, but you're going to know it's working as you're doing it. It's also opening up amazing ability to work from home, by the way, and to kind of, you know, either step into real estate or be your own boss. But it's having you also inherent the full strength of your ancestry. But the main message I have for you, Scorpio, is having to almost move with trust in knowledge that you pioneer, because Uranus is in your seventh. So it's like you're not going to read, you will never read this in any book. It has not been taught. It's only been taught in secret groups, but you know this. So it's like you can't have any confirmation. You just have to know that you are the wisdom, like you're the sauce. And it might not work for someone else, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work for you, because you can do things other people can't do. And we also have the Knight of Cups. So I see this as another individual that's going to be drawing on your heart. The Knight of Cups is you being artistic. It's a Piscean card, but if I feel like any court cards I draw are central figures you're going to be dealing with. This could be a man or a woman, but it's someone who's going to draw romance out of your heart and creativity. So that while you're having to, because what's going to happen with Scorpio is y'all are going to have responsibility for a family, whether you're starting a family or whether you're having to deal with like illnesses or problems with the family. All that shit's going to be on your plate. And so like the Knight of Cups is going to lighten up the mood here to make this a more artistic journey. They're going to be like the magical being in your corner to stimulate your heart through this process. Wow. And I also got to pull this too because it came out. The star. I feel like you're the star.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the card of Aquarius too. Interesting enough, I actually have the card of the Hierophant. And then I have Distant Thunder, which is talking about clearing the air. And a lot of times when I think of Aquarius, I do think of electricity. I do think of storms, but it can also be a clear day. So I feel like Scorpio, kind of like what Mike said, there's so much information and knowledge that Scorpio possesses because it's the fourth house for you guys. This is an energy where it's like, if you think of Aquarius like an archive of knowledge, of all the knowledge in the universe, the fact that this is in your fourth house means that the way that Scorpio accesses this is through their intuition. And you have to almost kind of go through this sort of high priestess kind of energy. I know I drew the Hierophant, but you have to kind of go through this high priestess kind of energy in order to access this information. But you also have to be pure of heart. What trips up a lot of Scorpios is that a lot of your thoughts of how you think it's supposed to look will get in the way. So it gets very cloudy. So when you reach that Aquarius energy, it's not very clear. Saturn in Aquarius is actually going to allow you to kind of rearrange your thinking in a sense. And this is actually going to allow you to connect to your emotions in a better way, into your intuition, so that now when you approach that high priestess, she's going to be giving you these books, this knowledge, this information. I'm speaking metaphorically, but she's going to give you this information, this knowledge from this archive, this library, and you're going to be able to bring it to people, and you're going to appear like a Hierophant because you're going to have like this seemingly this knowledge from the universe or God or whatever it is, but you have to go through the steps that it takes to get that knowledge. It's not like it just comes out of you. It's like you have to be, you have to have like the integrity and the emotional integrity as well to be humble and to approach that sort of like I don't know why I'm getting the high priestess energy, but I associate the high priestess with the fourth house in that energy. But in order to make it through that portal, in order to get that information, that knowledge, you have to kind of clear the air. You have to like kind of clear your mind a bit. Saturn in Aquarius, ironically, is going to help you to do that because Saturn wants to organize things to kind of bring structure to it. So a lot of Scorpios, they've been very confused, I guess, because a lot of them are ambitious. They're ready to move forward. They're ready to do stuff. Especially if you're a Pluto and Scorpio, like this is going to really activate that energy. Pluto is now, sextiling your energy. So it's like the opportunities are here. You can see them. You can feel them. You just feel like there may be a breakthrough. It's just right there. This is a time where everyone to just kind of remain peaceful, remain calm in the situation, because the information's all there. It's all there. It's all there in like your soul and your subconscious. The moon rules the natural fourth house. It's all right there. So there's almost like nobody can really tell you anything that you don't already know. This is why Scorpio rules secrets, because Aquarius knows everything, but then Scorpio intuitively knows everything.
Right.
So that's the interesting connection between Scorpio and Aquarius. So nobody can really bullshit in a Scorpio except for Scorpio, because Scorpio was like, well, you can do it to yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly going to be a very powerful time for Scorpio. I think they're finally going to come into their power, and they're finally going to stop doubting themselves. They're going to finally stop doubting that they've had the answers this entire time, and they're going to finally stop going outside of themselves for answers, because the answers are all within you. And that goes for all the signs, but Scorpio is really going to internalize this and embody it.
It's a lot of difficult stuff that y'all have to like believe in and internalize. So honor y'all for that, because it's hard and not feel crazy like believing, I guess. But yeah. So y'all pick up on like some secret intelligence, and like you can say it to someone and they're like, you're paranoid.
Right.
So I was like, oh shit. So Libra, you are manifesting the crystallization of your talents and your skills, especially if you're over like 28 years old. Then this is just like bridging beyond legendary level. For those of you who are younger than 28, you're taking a talent. When I went Saturn going through my fifth, I took my music career seriously. I realized this is something I actually want to do passionately. So it's allowing you to utilize the collective around you as a social being, so that you can come into self-employed income through what it is you love doing. What this is really going to do, though, is have you pioneer cosmic understanding and language as alien ambassadors, so that you can download the next level of social knowledge and norms for the collective, and almost enforce what's cool or not, which is both scary and also exciting as hell. But if we think that Libra are the artists, well, your art is going to border on revolutionary, because Uranus is tearing up that eighth house, and it's having to strip the bare bones of how you express your heart, so that there's no more fluff, and it's just like straight bars. It's just like straight, like not raw, because there's an element of rawness, because Chiron's in your seventh, making every relationship awkward. So Uranus went through your seventh and made every relationship weird as hell. Now it's making it super awkward, because it's like being in the room with someone naked, and it's like, now you have to kind of strip that social pretense and deal with people as they are. So we do have the Hierophant, which I see you as the Hierophant. It's like
there you go.
You're about to be the new standard again for like what's cool, what's not cool. But it's like I'm going to use the example of an artist who's watching this, or a scientist. And it's like you're taking your talents to the next level in a way where society is impacted for the next 28 years by your discoveries and what you contribute. I'm complete.
Libra, why y'all always be getting into unnecessary drama? No, I have the Five of Wands here. I also have the card of the Desert Passage, which is trusting there's a divine plan. What I love about these cards is that they kind of look similar. Like he's looking through these wands, and then he's kind of looking into the desert with the cliffs next to him. So with Libra, well, I laugh about the drama thing. Really, what I feel like this is that you might actually be starting to leave this drama behind, which sounds very unlike you, Libra. But I think a lot of this has to do with, obviously Saturn being in your fifth house. You're trying to bring some sense of structure to your creativity. And we also have to consider that, Venus, being in Gemini, there's a lot of these energies are trining you. So Venus is going to be trining you, especially if you're like an early degree Libra, and then you have Saturn in the early degrees of Aquarius, not to mention the full moon in Libra that we're about to get. So all Libras are about to go through this major release anyways of a lot of these woundings that they've had, a lot of these fake pretenses that they put out, this sort of fake image that they put out. Libras are actually going to start to embrace who they really are and not just live vicariously and act vicariously through other people because they thought that's what they wanted them to be or they wanted to be accepted that way. You're finally going to be leaving a lot of this behind, and it can be scary going out into the desert. It's just like, you look in the Bible, when Moses was guiding the people through the desert, everyone was fucking complaining and shit. So it's like you're almost going to be sort of like that energy where you're going to have a bunch of people complaining about your direction and where you're going, but you trust that there's a divine plan. So I feel like a lot of this complaining, a lot of this outside chatter, really, you just want to toss that aside. It doesn't really matter. Now, there are going to be people that come into your life that are going to support you in your visions. Absolutely. But Saturn, we got to remember, it's the planet of building things. And there's also a level of restriction to this. And this is your creativity. So this is like, you are getting serious about your creativity. You are getting serious about your passion. And anybody that tries to come in and tries to give some unnecessary chatter and bullshit to it, then you got to trust that, just cast that energy aside and not really worry about it. You are, like I said, Libras are finally going to start, embodying who they really are. This is partly the revival of the vampire clan and that whole energy. But, as I've said, you just have to trust that there is a divine plan. You are kind of going out into the desert a bit. There's going to be some chit chatter, people wanting to go back, people wanting water, people wanting food and stuff. And this could be even just your own inner voice, or maybe your insecurities or your ego coming up. But you have to trust, that true inner voice and kind of supersede that sort of energy. It's a little bit tough for you because Chiron is in your seventh house. And a lot of it, you're experiencing it through your relationships, be it romantic or platonic or friends or family. But right now, you're going to be really focused on creativity and passion. And that's really where you should kind of keep it, So.
Also, Saturn represents limitations. So Saturn is in Aquarius of collective social effort, and it's limited right now.
Mm-hmm.
So look back to what happened in 91, because those themes will come back. Saturn in the fifth house is limitations with children. And Kim Kardashian's a Libra. She decided, Saturn, that she's not having kids no more. So just be very mindful, y'all, of Libra, what your interactions with children are, because they're going to give you the most karmic lessons as well, your inner child. So,
you maybe want to look back at your childhood as well, because look back at your childhood and look back at any type of limitations that you've had in your childhood, or people that may have, for lack of a better term, taken a shit on your creative passions or your dreams. A lot of those things are going to start to come back up now. And it's time for you to sort of revive a lot of this energy. Yeah. A lot of Libras are going to have these childhood dreams that come back up that were once, people kind of didn't really believe in you. And now it's time for you to really believe in those dreams again and kind of come back into that energy. So
true that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Virgos,
Virgo, you're changing the game again. Yeah. It's the institution, it's the full institution of reality hacks. I feel like Virgo is a kind of cursed because they actually are really fast thinkers, but reality around them moves painfully slow because
Yeah.
they know how to analyze. So it's like they actually know how long a second is. Like to me, to us as a Gemini, like time doesn't mean anything to us. But like I feel like for Virgo, time is painfully real. Like you can feel how long like a minute is unless you're having fun, but even then. So Saturn in your sixth house is manifesting a complete reality hack that changes the way people live with the introduction of advanced techniques and routines in one's lifestyle. So it's not so much that it'll come out of the darkness. It's like Virgos have been working on this painfully slow forever. Like y'all have gotten it since 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, but you knew it would take this long for humanity to catch up, which is the only drawback to collective energy, to being an Aquarius rising, Sag rising, Pisces rising, or those energies, because your energy is connected to the collective. So you have to wait for other people outside of you to kind of get to there before it gives and flows. But Virgo, you're not only revolutionizing your lifestyle because Uranus is also in your ninth. So this is completely upgrading the quality of philosophy and like real practical values and technology that you're running your lifestyle with, but it's completely manifesting for some of you like being your own boss, as far as, or more so, Virgo, you might become an employer and come into employees, which is another way of revolutioning your lifestyle, switching from doing all the job titles to yourself to getting an assistant to help you. But really, Virgo, what I sense here is utilizing supernatural, because sixth house is integration. So you're actually integrating everything that you put in motion since Saturn manifested your essence in Virgo. So this is like utilizing supernatural strength to completely innovate your entire lifestyle. And it's like you manifest a reality hack. I don't know who you're going to share that hack with, but it's really going to define the next half of this Saturn aspect as it goes over your partnerships and you apply this hack. Yes, I knew it. We literally even got like the Fenixx card, the Moon and Aquarius. You hacking it. It's like you know each and every single rule to break. Like you've mastered your lifestyle to the point where you know the glitches in the matrix.
Yeah, and I actually know the hack. It's a time traveling hack.
Oh,
and that's what it is. Because if you think of, because as you were saying that, and look what I got. I got the 8 of Cups and the card of Miracles. Wow. Miracles gives me a very Piscean vibe. 8 of Cups talks about kind of leaving something behind, but making peace with it. It's not like, it's not the 5 of Cups where you feel lost. 8 of Cups is like you're at peace. Yeah. Virgos, you guys know how all of you guys are actually time travelers.
They could like stop time for a bit or
yes. Okay. But what's been frustrating, because like you said, time is painfully slow to Virgo. They're able to process this energy so fast. Saturn in Aquarius is actually going to expose all of the different portals and time gates, because the weird thing about time travel is that technically you can time travel from any position where you are, but really there are certain points on the planet that actually are portals, and Virgo knows this. Saturn in Aquarius is going to reveal this. So by the time that Saturn comes into Pisces and then Pluto comes into Aquarius, Virgos are actually going to be time traveling, literally.
So like, they're setting up the time points now.
They're setting it up right now.
That makes sense.
There are different portals and gates in this world, and Saturn and Aquarius is going to reveal this. A lot of Virgos are going to discover these. Virgo has a bit of a cheat code because they can almost time travel from anywhere they are, but it's easier to time travel from certain points, because if you don't time travel from these particular points, or if you're further away, there can be complications. That's why Virgo is very meticulous. So it's like, if like if the closer you are to a portal, the easier it will be to time travel, and then you won't get like your body will be fucked up, I guess, when you time travel. Like your arm will be connected to your butt or something like that if you don't do it the right way. So that's why it's like Virgo. It's going to be a little bit more time. Saturn's not in Pisces yet, but you're going to start to actually get it.
So it's like they're going from traveling with their spirit to taking their body with them or something like that?
They can. Time travel is definitely possible. It definitely is. And Virgos kind of know this. As far as the mythological creature, I know people like to associate Virgos with angels. I like to see them as fairies as well, because fairies, they're kind of like these earth angels.
Or
and they actually exist alongside with us, but in different realms. And they actually can time travel. So, and not only that, but Virgos, they're very much so in tune with nature. They actually get a lot of their energy just from being around nature and plants and the sun and that sort of stuff. So Virgo, like I said, if we want to think about Aquarius, being that knowledge and that archives, this being in your sixth house, where you actually naturally rule. So you actually have the knowledge to time travel to different points of reference in this material realm. If you think of Earth as sort of like a material realm, you actually have the knowledge to do that. You can't do it right now because of just the way things are, but it's coming. So I think that's why Virgos may be feeling a little like, they kind of like no one else really gets it from that aspect, but
they're not trying to tell. I got the Two of Swords. They ain't trying to tell nobody. They're
only certain people are allowed to know.
Right.
Because here's the thing, though. If they tell the wrong people, they can time travel and they can really fuck up a lot of shit.
Butterfly effect. They only tell people already know.
Butterfly effect. And like I said, like for the rest of us, if you're not a Virgo sun, it's mostly Virgo sun that can do this. Virgo moon may be able to get away with it. But if you're not a Virgo sun and you try to teleport and you're not close to an actual gate, if you're not very, 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 very particular and specific about those directions, you're going to fuck up your teleportation. You're going to end up being off by so many years or so many months or something like that. So, yeah.
This is kind of amazing because like the first time I thought about time travel, I was thinking about a Virgo and I was downloading energy from her body, from her energy, and it was putting me on all sorts of time travel literature. I was like, holy shit, like it just made a lot of sense to me as how like they have like infinite numbers of ways to do this. But so now we're at Leo. Oh my God. So okay, the rest of these are about to get progressively more savage.
Yeah, they are.
That's why I wanted to start with the opposite side, because at least they're kind of above most of the drama. Libra's kind of like right there, so that's why they love to like flirt with it. But Leo, it's you versus the world. I'm just letting you know that right now.
Mm-hmm.
There was considerable work to kind of prepare you to change your lifestyle and elevate you, because you're going to come into greater fame, but that fame is going to come with a lot more criticism and a bit of targeting. Saturn oppositions are dangerous. This is the assassination transit. When Pop Smoke died, because I've been saying for a while now, Cancers, be careful, they're coming for you. Be careful, they're coming for you. And Pop Smoke died when Saturn was opposite his sun. And how did he die? Pluto and Saturn. He was targeted. People literally looked to find where he was, target, and boom, boom. So, that's Saturn oppositions. Oppositions are open enemies. And so, with Leo in your seventh, this is manifesting integrity through your partnerships. This is actually going to be amazing for having some of you get married or divorced, but you want to be I don't want to sugarcoat this because Uranus is squaring you. By the way, Virgo, I was going to say what lends credence to the time travel is the North Node in Gemini. That's going to help you create these portal points.
Yep.
Now you got the fluctuation.
I cannot wait for North Node in Gemini. It's going to be so
dude,
lit.
I can't wait.
I can't
I
wait.
can't wait. That South Node is, oh my God. South Node in Sag fluctuates time and space to where things aren't as fixed anymore. So anything can happen. You literally could like meet the right person at the right time. But yeah, so Leo, I don't want to sugarcoat this for you. It's like anyone who's ever had an issue, and this is the collective. So it's not like Libra opposition with Aries. That might be one person. This is a Leo opposition. You're gonna have a lot of people who want you dead. You have a lot of, and that's gonna be more Pluto in Aqua. But it's like being a royal with revolutionaries. You're gonna have a lot of people who are so like your relationship with other people has to be, Saturn is no nonsense. You gotta let people know where you stand, because with the Uranus square to your sun, people will pick bullshit as to why they don't like you. They're going to bring up jealousy. You have to make sure you are in integrity too, because you're stepping into greater power. So the criticism is just going to be kind of harsh, because Leo opposite Saturn is like the performer in front of a very tough crowd. And you know, people who already don't like you are going to use this as an approach to get at you. But it's a double-edged sword, because this is also going to manifest more presence in your relationships. But I just kind of want you to know it's you against the world. And Leo, so I know a secret part of you enjoys this, because it's like, what's up, motherfuckers? Like, I can actually say I fucking went against the world and made it through. And all I'm saying, Leo, is you got to move right, because you're going to be given the material to do. I kind of see it as like a leader that has to move around of people who doesn't trust them. Like, so like some people really love you, some people really hate you. So it's like you have to be careful you're not messing with some people who secretly try and take you out. Okay, thankfully we have nothing in your 12th really, but you just keep that in mind. It's like Jesus or Christ walking amongst the people and making sure, you know, you don't get stabbed, but also making sure you manifest integrity to the collective. Because Leo, you're bringing your light into relationships, and it's manifesting physically, and people will have an extreme hatred for it or an extreme love. So just kind of think like it. See, the reason why you didn't see it for Cancer is it was more covert, just like Pop Smoke. Like, this was an invasion. It's not gonna be like yours, Leo. This was Cancer and Capricorn is more secretive. It's more behind closed doors. Leo, this is people coming out in the open to talk about how they don't like you. And Leo, you're just gonna be hair flipping like, I don't care, bitch. You're just jealous, and it could be like that. So I'm just letting you know, just make it through. Just make it through. Most people are jealous of you, but some of the criticism is necessary, and that's really it. The card that I do have for you, though, mind you, once again, some of you are going to be getting married and or divorced and remarried, because this is definitely the transit for that, or establishing partnerships. We do have the Moon and Taurus card, the Six of Pentacles, so philanthropy, okay, and the Four of Swords. It's almost as if you can show your opposition that you're using your affluence to give back to the people, then they won't have anything to hold up on you and be like, oh, you think you're better than us. That's really kind of, but see, I'm not saying this to where you're having to appease to others, but it's just use this transit to kind of give back and to kind of share your influence and your affluence, because that's really going to stifle and calm down any irrational waters.
Yeah, Leo, the way I got the Chariot card, interesting enough, right? And I also have the card of reaching your destination, which is your light is shining brightly. Here's the funny thing about reaching the destination. You're actually the destination, and people are going to be coming to you. So what this is, honestly, I'm going to spin this as like a metaphor. Leo, you're having this big ass mansion party, and Saturn is the bouncer letting people in. Right. Now, off of your integrity, and who comes into your house is going to determine how lit that party is. Because if you're not fully in integrity, if you're not really expressing like what you really stand for, the bouncer might let some people in that may try to rain on your fucking parade. Now you're a Leo, and you're gonna flip your hair and be like, you know, whatever, bitch. Anyways. But you want to be careful, because you are achieving victory here and you are shining brightly. But the reason why you're having this house party is not necessarily to show just how bright you are, but you want to actually create more shine. You want to actually invigorate and enlighten everybody. So it's because you could just sit in your mansion by yourself all day long, shining brightly, but you want to have fun and you want everyone to be shining brightly. So you kind of are the destination. You're going to be sort of like that center focus, and people are going to be coming to you. They're going to want to get into the party, Leo. And it's like, you got to be, Saturn is about restriction too. So you're going to have to be very careful about who you let into this mansion party, because you don't want them breaking your expensive statues and drinking all your booze or whatever like that and breaking shit. You want to make sure that it's a lit ass party. And some people might try and break, like, kind of rain on your fucking parade. But being that, that sassy Leo, like I know you are, you'll probably be able to cut them down anyways. But some people might trickle in. And I think some people might trickle in that may challenge you during this time, that actually will spur your creativity and actually allow you to see parts where you may have been not shining as brightly. And you want to be careful that you're not perceiving these people as enemies, because some people that slip through the cracks or slip past the bouncer, some of them will be enemies. Some of them will also be some of your guides and some of like your biggest supporters.
Yeah.
But a lot of times your biggest supporters, it's not just the fans that comment on your Instagram post, it's the people that actually hold you accountable. So there's going to be a level of accountability that's going to come through your relationships, especially romantic. That's going to be very important. So, like I said, this bouncer is going to let people in based off of where you are in your integrity and based off of where you are in your relationship to yourself. Because we like to think of the seventh house always as relationships to other people, but it's also ourselves, because we have a relationship ultimately with ourselves. That's the biggest one that we have. So you want to be wary of what energy you allow into your space, allow into your mansion. But you're going to have a very lit party, and I'm going to come to it. Sounds fun.
That's a beautiful analogy. I love it. And it's going to be weird. Keyword weird, because Uranus is in the 10th. So like, if you're not famous, you're going to be mega famous. If you're already mega famous, like, you're about to be even more famous.
Even more famous. Yes.
The North Node's coming to your 11th house. Saturn's in the 7th. Uranus in the 10th is what's going to make it uncomfortable. It's like more than you expect, more than you want. It's awkward because not everybody is there for good reason. So make sure you got that good bouncer.
Make sure you got a good bouncer, because Jupiter is also going to be bringing a bunch of colorful characters.
Right. Right.
And
it's gonna be a long ass line. It's gonna be a lot. Yeah.
Gonna be a lit ass party, that's for sure though.
So Cancer, I don't know how to tell you this. I really don't know how to tell you this at all. Because I started Saturn in Capricorn with the warning to Leo. I was like, Capricorn, they're coming for you. Like, watch out. Because Saturn is very peculiar. And first and foremost, I want to say that Saturn in the 7th and the 8th house transits are fascinating. They're amazing. They're empowering. They're honestly some of the best. But we don't live in an ideal world. And so because it inherently deals with other people and their resources, we have to bring in reality here. And this is what makes this very dangerous whenever you deal with other people. So, the reason why I feel like this is a lot more difficult with Cancer is because Cancer is having to deal with behind the scenes, covert, secret, indirect, deception in relationships with others that they can just get gaslighted over. So, this is, as someone who just is wrapping up, like, I just finally finished this 8th house transit. It was grueling. The Saturn in the 8th taught me that, like, you have to draw boundaries because certain people are secret agents that are kind of, seeking you out. And it really helped me rid any bullshit within myself too. So Cancer, this is going to be kind of harsh. I feel like Aquarius could be super harsh on Cancer. Aquarius, the relationship with Aquarius and Cancer is like Cancer being needy and wanting everything to be acknowledged and felt and nurtured, and an Aquarius drawing that out and being like, oh, you need this, just to be like, fuck you, fuck that, I'm gonna hurt you in your place of most need. So, and that's not, and I don't mean that as far as Aquarius representatives, I just mean as far as the energy, because the 8th house of Aquarius is cessation of feeling, and this is what transforms and like ends it. So there's a dark, sinister part of this. Cancer, be very careful about this. Is all about trust. The whole of Pluto in 8th for Gemini was learning that you can't trust nobody. You could barely trust anybody. Most of the people who I was working with and having to trust, I ended up realizing they have to have integrity. But this is way more intense for you, Cancer, because it's dealing with the collective of people. It's dealing with the alien frequencies and also the frequency control that influences people. So Cancer, as a high priestess or high priest, is going to force you into an exorcism path. This is all to you just have to make it to the Saturn the 9th. If you make it to Saturn and Pisces, you'll be Gucci, because then you'll be able to like teach about your experiences. But Saturn in the 8th here in Aquarius is going to transform your relationship with collectives of individuals because of what you can psychically sense with the whatever you're revealed, with the ulterior motives that are coming through. And it's also going to just shed all the faulty thought patterns that you had because of maybe an undated sense of yourself with people, because you've evolved, right? Now your relationship with others is more powerful, and you're just going to come into so much more like trust in yourself. So that it won't matter if people gaslight you moving forward. But it's like, if you don't trust your intuition here, you could die. And that's very scary. But you're also super powerful, so you shouldn't be scared. And we have the King of Swords, which is the Aquarius king, but we have the 8 of Swords here. So the King of Swords is an expert. The 8 of Swords feels stuck. And this is having to maneuver. This is maneuver. You're making, see, I feel like Cancer is going into this transit of the 8 of Swords. You feel stuck maneuvering with people. You're psychic. You don't know how to say too much because you feel the vibes. It's hard to kind of like deal with others because it's intense. And you're gonna make that transition to being the King of Swords. You know exactly how to deal with people. You know exactly what to say. You know when they're full of shit. This is going to be the process from breaking through every single limiting belief that will really have you be an expert with dealing with other people.
Yeah, Cancer, this transit in your 8th house, and of course you're speaking to a Scorpio who rules the 8th house.
Boom.
It's gonna be an interesting energy. This is a deeply transformative time for this, how you deal with the collective energy. And since you're a natural sponge anyways, Saturn in Aquarius is actually going to teach you how to not soak up the collective energy as much as you do. I think what's happened is here with Cancer, especially with all this energy that's been opposing you, and with the North Node going through your sign, which has been unlocking all kinds of knowledge as far as like your ancestry. That's another thing too. Your ancestors right now are speaking to you so much more now. You really want to tap into that energy because they're actually going to allow you to realize the power of your emotions. Cancer is a very, very powerful sign. It's cardinal water. You have the power of emotion. You have the power to just like Leo shines brightly, but Cancer is it's another kind of feeling behind it. It's what makes you cry in the movie. Leo is of course the actor. Cancer is that emotion that you get from like that speech that they give and just makes you cry. There's energy to that, but it's like I feel like with Cancers, you have this, and Libra kind of does this too, but you have this thing, and Pisces does this too, where you want to try and heal everybody and want to fix everybody. And Saturn and Aquarius like, no. You can't do that anymore. You can't try and fix everyone. You got to focus on your path and focus on your transformation. We have the Magician card here. And then we have the card of choosing your path, which is all is possible. And the Magician manifests his reality. He is the avatar, master of all 4 elements. And if you think about it, Cancer, you kind of are. You're the natural 4th sign, and before you is Aries, Taurus, Gemini. and then you're water. So you almost sort of represent sort of end of this elemental cycle and then going into a new one. But now, after you comes Leo. Anything is possible. So it's like, whereas Leo is dealing with this through, people and relationships, seventh house, you're dealing with this through a psychological transformation. So Cancers, a lot of you guys, you're going through this whole psychological thing where all this information that you've kind of gathered about the collective and the world at large is going to start to kind of shift into place. And now you're going to really start to see, you've outsourced a lot of your happiness just to appease other people. But now you're the magician. It's time for you to choose your own path. It's time for you to go where you want to go and not go wherever else wants you to go. And it's going to be kind of weird and crazy because Jupiter is going to come over this spot. So this is going to bring all kinds of crazy people into your life that is really going to make you kind of think differently. It's going to make you kind of ponder on these things a little bit deeply. Get with your Scorpio friends because they're going to kind of actually help you through this time, because Scorpio is a very emotional sign too, but they know how to cut things off as well. Cancer, you got to learn how to kind of cut things off during this time. You have to learn how to kind of stand on your own 2 feet, and that Saturn energy has no issues with having to cut their losses. So, and with no hard feelings, that's the other thing about it. It's going to kind of feel hard because this is your 8th house and it's a fixed, it's fixed air. So it's going to, in your mind, it's going to feel tough. That's what I'm trying to say. But anything is possible. You are the avatar. You can manifest anything that you really want. Because in many ways, like I said, being that natural 4th house in that first water sign, you kind of have this sort of avatar-like energy with you. This is what makes you a meta-human, like Leos and Cancers are kind of like meta-humans, right? They're human, but they're kind of like supersede, like, I guess what you could say is like a normal human, like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and stuff like that. So,
true that.
Mm-hmm.
Well said, bro. Okay, so Gemini, this hits home so much. I didn't realize how much of a revolution the angel clan is going through, but yeah, as you know, Geminis are the messengers. Messenger means angel, right? But this is preparing you, Gemini, for the recalling of God's warriors and angels. All the angels who have incarnated, whether moon or sun, you're being recalled, you're being reawakened. Saturn breaking through into your 9th is preparing for Pluto in the 9th. But it's not a coincidence that Saturn is ascending your celestial essence while the North Node is returning into Gemini. And this is for the purpose of preparing, the air part of the new age of Aquarius. In this sense, Gemini, to completely have you teach with your experience, to completely manifest through the collective greater downloads of knowledge that you'll come effectively to communicate. I'm going to save this for another video, but that North Nodal Gemini aspect with Uranus, 12th house to you, is using you as a vessel, an instrument to change the whole game with Virgo, really. So it's redefining knowledge in a way that has people see magic in a more scientific way, and in a way that shows the it's kind of like Sagittarius having vocifery. Gemini is going to break down more the mechanics of how we could redefine this first tier of magic. I would say it's less magic though, and a lot more like cumulative experience over these transits that now bring into motion the arc of you going on an adventure of rediscovery of knowledge, but more so really now manifesting your angel abilities, your angel power, your connection with the rest of the angel clan. Like, this is a recall. It's like preparing you for to connect with the relevant Sagittarius partners you have, because every angel is partnered with the god. If you think of like Dragon Ball Super, Whis had to be with Beerus. So, it's definitely going to, through you and the other mutables, weather, sun, and moon, kind of redefine the order of magic here. And we do have the same card that we got for Pisces, not surprisingly, the Devil card. All right. And I'm pulling that with the King of Swords because for you, Gemini, this is redefining the limits on your consciousness in the way you kind of approach morality, and also in the way that you become born again. This is taking full control over the shadow elements out of the 8th house to come into the light of the 9th and be able to manifest victory through such. So it's kind of word to what Astro Fenixx said earlier, taking the fallen state of the angel or the devil and now stepping into that risen devil, and changing that archetype as well. So it's gonna really turn on its head a lot of traditional religion, amongst other things.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of interesting too, because like when you hear the word devil and angels and fallen angels, we automatically kind of associate that devils are bad or fallen angels are bad, and then angels are good. But it's a lot more complex than that. And we have like these fixated ideas on what all of these different things are, but a lot of these beings actually work together. Like there are good devils just as much as there are bad devils and stuff. So, and it's interesting with devils too, is like there's a difference between devils and demons.
Right.
I think that's one thing that devils actually have structure and order. Demons, that's more of like a
raw and primal.
Yeah, raw, primal, pretty much like you pretty much have lost your soul at that point. These are beings that have like, and I honestly think
Could you say demons can evolve into devils?
No. I feel like
so they're distinct races. Okay.
I think they're distinct. I think
sense.
When I think of a devil, I do think of like these more intelligent beings, whereas I think like a demon is more of like this raw, primal, just insatiable, hungry, egoic kind of being, Yeah. And it's like they are very much so absent. There's like that sort of God consciousness within them they're so far removed from it. They're not complete. It's not completely absent, but they're so far removed from it that it's really, 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 really hard for them to get back to it. So
it's like their base chakra.
Yeah, they're like really deep into that base chakra. So. Okay. Yeah. Gemini, for you guys, I actually got the 5 of Cups and also the card of Faraway Places.
Damn.
You're leaving behind old places and you are actually you are ascending to new horizons. When you were talking about, your spill on the Gemini thing, you guys definitely do work with a god and stuff. And there are an innumerable number of gods too. But I think what's interesting with this 9th house transit is that you're about to come into a particular fragment of information that only you can bring to the collective. But in order for you to articulate this, you're going to need the North Node and the South Node going through your axis. So Saturn is going to reveal this information to you, and you're going to realize that this God, whoever it is going to be very particular to you. I almost see this as like a guide, like a really divine guide coming forth, and they're going to reveal this information to you. Aquarius being that all-encompassing, all-knowing energy, and you kind of have like a fragment of that energy, but it's going to come through the 9th house, so connecting with a higher being. And it's going to kind of take, the South Node going through Sagittarius for this to awaken within you. And of course, the North Node coming through your sign. So Gemini, you're probably going to seem a bit crazy to some people because a lot of you may find yourselves flipping religions. A lot of you guys may find yourself like just kind of flipping and stuff like that. But what I think is beautiful about this is that truthfully, all these beings emanate from the same truth. And if we as humans can actually understand that energy and we stop fighting over all of this bullshit as far as like fighting over whose God is better than whoever's God, and we can finally stop fighting over it, then true spirituality can finally be integrated in this world.
Yep.
So you also have to remember Uranus being in Taurus. This is your 12th house. So that we're actually are setting up for true spirituality to be integrated in this world. So where these religious wars that we've been fighting for eons can finally fucking come to an end. But we're setting the stage for that. So Gemini, you have a fragment of information and there's a particular like God, and you can almost be sort of like, you can almost kind of see yourself as like the patron messenger or saint of
The
that
messenger
God.
of that, yeah.
Of that God, right?
This is so on point. I got nothing but chills. Thank you.
Yeah. But it's like, but in order to do it, you have to leave behind a previous understanding of something so you can embark on this new journey. So it's going to feel a little somber too. It's going to feel a little off. You know, that's the weird thing about it.
It's like probably looking at the devil different too. And that's somber.
Exactly. So some of you may have associated negative things with the devil. And you're going to realize that the devil is one of your principal guides.
Right. Right. And it's just gonna, so I love what you said about that, because it's like up until now, that aspect of God has been more so like an idea, and Saturn's going to physically manifest it. And I just love how you said it's true.
I've been saying for a while that the devil's going to sue for defamation of character. So
yes. Yes. And yeah, it's gonna be a new way to say it. So with that fragment, it's like people already think you're crazy, Gemini. So just kind of expect them to for this to kind of tip it over, but it's going to finally make sense. That's the other half of the thing. It's like it'll sound crazier, but you're more sure than ever, and it's like the final piece of this philosophical knowledge you needed to kind of like push us over. So love how you said that. Taurus, I think you might look okay. It's so interesting, Taurus. This might actually be more challenging than ever, but you're set for life. This Saturn transit is paying off your hard ass work. Taurus, you're the slowest. Everything moves super slow for. I feel like for you it doesn't move as slow, but thank you for being the slowest, because we have time to kind of like stretch the shit out. But like your hard work is paying off, Taurus. You are set for life. You are building the final stage of your success to where after this, for the next 30 years, you straight. Okay, this is a lot of hard ass work, brick by brick, that built this here. And with Uranus coming through your first, it's like you're getting set up to be a monopoly owner, because what you're building, only you can do. There can only be one crazy bull spirituality, for example. So like you're building a whole world. It's like being J.K. Rowling. You're building a whole world around what you've been creating. And like, it's just going to set you up for so much success. And I feel like that success is going to come with a bit of burden, the burden of success, but you're going to be set for life. And I don't think you're going to mind, because all this money you're going to be making. But come on now. I literally just said this. King of Pentacles. Look at that. That's you, Taurus. He's gonna be flossing. He's gonna be flossing. Okay, he's gonna be super rich, throwing mad parties. I feel like some of you are already rich, but like this is like a culmination of like, it's like you can finally put your legacy to rest after this. And some of you might be just creating this, but like you're just creating it and it's going to see you out for the next 30 years. Or like you've worked so hard and it's like you could finally like enjoy. So the work isn't over. Like this is it. This is the hardest work here, but it's just manifesting, and it's just management from here on out. All you need to just have is management. So King of Pentacles, y'all, you're stepping into the peak of your manifestation and the wealthiest you'll ever be. So congrats.
Yeah, Tauruses, you guys take your time, and we need you guys to take your time. So you guys have a very, very powerful energy that is so overlooked. And as a Scorpio, sometimes I'm a bit jealous of it. I'm your opposite sign, but it's like your ability to stay solid in what would otherwise be psychologically jarring situations is really impressive. So that's kind of what's going on right now. I actually have the Eight of Swords, interesting enough. But I also have the card of Protected by Angels. Woo, so even though you may feel like you're stuck, and I don't even think you're really stuck, I honestly don't see this as you being stuck. I almost see this as maybe you purposely put on the blindfold.
Yes.
And maybe other people are projecting on you that you're stuck. And
Blind swordsman.
There's this reconfiguration of whether you believe that to be true or not. I think when Jupiter comes over Saturn in Aquarius, you're going to realize that it's not true and that you purposely put on the blindfold. It's almost like I was watching what was it, Master Chef the other day, and Gordon Ramsay, he made a dish, or no, he filleted a fish blindfolded. Taurus, you're about to prepare a 5-course meal blindfolded. Damn. And people are going to be like, what the fuck? How did he do that? It's going to be like, but you're protected by the angels. It's almost like your hands are going to be guided with the angels. But the only way that you're going to be able to do this is if you actually kind of almost you have to almost like turn your eyes off from the world and look within. So it's like, even though Saturn's in your 10th house and this is about, the world and society and going out there, pursuing your craft, there is a sense where there's this level of expertise that you're coming in. These 8 swords are not holding you back. They are actually your cooking knives that you're going to use to create this 5-course meal, which is your life, the way that you're going to manifest. And people are going to be like you're the chef at Leo's mansion party. And Leo's going to be look what Taurus can do. And you're just going to be like this.
Live cooking.
And you're gonna create like this whole spread, and people are gonna be like, "Holy shit, Taurus! we like really underestimated you.
Really slept on y'all.
We really slept on you, and you're like,
holy shit! Damn. Yeah. That's what's up, though. That's really what's up. Aries, honestly. Yours is low-key Taurus and Gemini combined. This is you building fame, but not like socialite fame, more like politician fame, in the sense where you're literally one by one creating influence. Like, you're making friends every day. And so like by the end of Saturn Aqua, it's not like Jupiter goes into your 11th house and like you instantly go viral because someone shared it. It's like you went on a campaign every day to like contribute your gifts to people. And it's like you're systematically building your own tribe and your own collective. So the thing about this, though, is if you're older than 30, it's going to be different because it's like you're consolidating for the collective that you've invested in, versus if you're younger than 30, you're breaking into this for the first time. But this is rewards from career. Some of you are going to be able to retire off of this. Aries, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, and who you know is your greatest currency. So this transit is going to teach you, even if you have like little to $0 in your name, because of your extensive network, you're richer than most people with like hundreds of thousands of dollars in their bank account. Because true friendship is the most priceless commodity you can ever have. It's called relationship capital. We also do have, reasonably so, the 5 of Swords and the Devil card. So even though, just like Leo, right? Leo has Saturn in their 7th. Leo is going to be coming into amazing, extraordinary partnerships. It's just, this is the real world. So like, it's drama. It's like, they're coming for you. Yeah. Aries, you're going to be whooping ass.
You really are, though.
Ass, yo. It's
wait
like,
till you see the cards that I got. You're definitely gonna be whooping ass. Aries, you got the Ace of Swords.
Oh,
and you have the card of the Wise Leader.
Oh, there we go.
You are making for others. So Aries, this is prodigy energy. Just like how he said that, who you know is your currency. Aries, some of you are about to step into situations where you're the rookie and you're such a prodigy that you're going to become the key player on the team. And some people are going to be pissed off at it, actually. They're going to be like, who is this young buck suddenly coming up? And it's like, because of your energy, Aries, because of your, you're just going to go for it anyways. And you don't care about making mistakes because you're just going to take another action and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. But this Ace of Swords it's like there's this truth that's like embedded and imbued into all of your actions.
You are the one.
It's going to make you into this leader. Mars is in Aquarius right now too. So it's like you're already here. You're already here. But this is like prodigy energy. This is like like I said, you kind of stepping into a room as like the rookie, as like, say if you go into like a new kind of a business, whatever, maybe you want to be like, for example, like a realtor, and you step in and you're learning all this stuff. Within like a year, you will see, especially by the end of this transit, you're going to be like the top real estate agent in like your region. And you're going to surpass people that have been in the game for years before you.
Yeah.
But it's because of your drive and your energy, and also this great support, that you're just going to be able to fly by these people too. But it's showing that you're a beacon for other people. So it's like you're also going to inspire people too. It's not so much that you're just going to be totally like ignoring and not helping other people, but you're going to actually inspire other people with your dream and your craft and your, you know, your adventure. And some of you Aries, you've been working on this for a long time. So don't think, I mean, some of you are going to have overnight success. All of you are going to have overnight success, but overnight success, sometimes it is overnight as in a day. Sometimes overnight success is like 5 years. So, and a lot of times when you see people that get successful, and we come in like midway through their story, we don't see all of the other stuff that they've been doing up until then. So Aries, keep doing what you're doing, because you are an inspiration to other people and you're really going to be a go-getter. So by the time that you do, seemingly to everyone else, this is your 11th house, have that overnight success, you'll be able to tell them your story and they'll be like, oh, you've been in the game for a while. You've been working at this for a while. But this is definitely some prodigy energy. You're kicking ass and taking names.
And, you know, as Saturn goes through the 11th, that 5 of Swords Devil card is any one of your friends that don't have integrity and have basically been useless or just like not been your real friends, they're getting weeded out. So your social circle, if you already didn't have a lot of friends, you're about to have even less friends. But whoever is left is down for the cause. Like they're really, really real. They're worth having around you. And I think that's why you're gonna be throwing hands, because you're not ready to play games, and so it's gonna really reveal like who really values you, because it is squaring your second house. So we're going to close here.
Just right quick though, I drew some cards for the collective because I feel like this whole situation where everyone's kind of being clammed up into their homes, and the home is meant to be a sanctuary. And I just drew these 2 cards. I drew the Strength card, and I drew the card of Finding Sanctuary.
Wow.
And Saturn Aquarius, the fact that we get this transit, and we're kicking off the Saturn Aquarius transit with this time where there's restriction within the collective, there's going to be a great amount of strength that comes to finding our sanctuary and opening up to the spiritual source that comes within us. So, like, I know a lot of people are probably, this is very weird. The only way to really describe this time right now, it's very weird. It's very off the wall, austere. It's hard to make sense of it because, you know, Mercury's in Pisces, Neptune is still here. It's hard to make sense of what's going on, but it's giving us the opportunity to find that inner sanctuary. And it starts in the home. It starts in the home. The home is meant to be a sanctuary. When you come home, that energy is supposed to uplift you and make you feel good and stuff. And it's a shame that some people, when they go home, the energy, it doesn't uplift them. It doesn't rejuvenate them. So use this time to, you know, go within yourself and find that inner strength, because that's what this time is all about. It's all about finding that sanctuary, that inner Garden of Eden, if you will, that inner peace.
And the cards I drew right now were the Ace of Wands. It all starts with that one spark. And the King of Swords. You are an expert. Like your power is that there's no one else like you.
Exactly.
And you're about to spark. I feel like this Mars Saturn is sparking energy. It's sparking something so quintessentially new that you're going to use that to become the expert you've always been. This could be extra energy, 2 hours of extra energy through the day. And you're going to have to grind because it's not going to be full. It might just be like an extra surplus. The $1,000 we may be getting, like whatever this is, which is sparking now, is going to activate and awaken these superpowers within you, and you're going to grind and take this. I think the Ace of Wands is like coming up with a new move at level 1, and you're going from level 1 to the King of Swords, level 100. all right, by the end of this transit. So I'm very excited as to what this Ace of Wands really is, because it's new. It's something that we've never experienced before, and it comes from you. So other than that, you guys stay blessed as always. Astro, bro, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on. We got to do these more often. This one was a long time coming. So
yeah, that's true. That's very true. You guys stay blessed as always. And
peace out.